Perfect. All right, we're back. This is take number 2. So this is going to be another day of Tuesday Brewsday. I'm Gallade. This is Airwave. Today we're going to do ELDRAZI Fires. This is going to be kind of a variant of the Cleansing Wildfire, Dark Citadel, Cascading Cataracts deck that I believe Aspiring Spikes popularized. This is going to be a more ELDRAZI focused one. So instead of running Golos and running these kind of more grindy, like Karn kind of cards, you're going to run Thought-Knot Seer and Reality Smasher, and we're going to try to turn the corner super quickly. It's still going to have the same core of Cleansing Wildfire, a bunch of burn removal, Fable's obviously just a great card, and Fires of Invention to pull it all together. The mana base kind of already lends itself to ELDRAZI with these 8 colorless lands required. You're going to have a little bit less on the utility side of things because you do have to run a decent number of colorless lands. So you can't run extra Den of the Bugbear. Eventually you might see more Field of Ruin, but right now we're going to do 1 Den, 1 Field of Ruin, 1 Bonder's Enclave for testing purposes. But yeah, this is basically going to be the gist of the deck. It's going to be to play this normal Cleansing Wildfire, Fires of Invention mid-game, and then turn the corner super hard and basically say, once we hit 5 lands, we're going to try to kill you. Anything you want to add before we get going?
No, I think that just about sums it up. I think it's a really cool take on the deck. I think that Fires of Invention is a really powerful card that really isn't being fully examined. And ELDRAZI are obviously inherently powerful, but without something like ELDRAZI Temple to help power them out, I think that they've sort of fallen by the wayside in Pioneer compared to some other strategies. So using Fires of Invention as a way to power them out is, I think, really cool. And even just being able to play a card like Cavalier of Flame, I think that's a very, very interesting card and a very cool way of making use of the mana that Fires of Invention is going to provide you with. So I'm very excited to see the way that this list turns out.
Yeah, Cavalier and Smasher are both coming down the same turn with this crazy haste too. It's just such a powerful turn 5 or sometimes turn 4 of a Wildfire play. And Fable and all this fair stuff is always good, but this top end is way more aggressive, way more just impactful cards than a Karn -3 normally would be. Thought-Knot Seer obviously is a little weaker here without Temple or good mana dorks to play, but still this doesn't really die to a lot of removal right away. So having Fires into Thought-Knot Seer is just a totally fine turn 4 play when you're going to follow it up with a huge haster. So yeah, let's crack right into it.
It can be less good and still be incredibly powerful.
I think just the general shell is really good too, and because you're not running any creatures, main deck Sweltering Suns is great, Anger of Gods from the sideboard has been great. There's probably some changes to make here. I know you want Rending Volley instead of Fry, but I think it works better because the instant speed isn't even as important to kind of fit it in any phase when you have Fires, and I think Fry takes care of a little larger majority of stuff.
It might not really matter. I just always kind of cringe when I see Fry instead of Rending Volley, but it's also because I play these very low to the ground aggressive decks.
Yeah, 3 lands is late game for a lot of the decks you play, so I think the mana base, I'm not sure what we want to do with it. The land base, rather, feel like there's a chance you want to be on 4 Field of Ruin to go with your 4 Cleansing Wildfire at all costs. So maybe you run 12 colorless lands, and that's your colorless lands, and maybe you can cut into the Realm of Ruins. I think with Cavalier, you don't always have Fire Inventions. Sometimes it is a little hard to get to your 3 red. So I think that having a decent amount of red lands is. I have the Valakut Awakening and Spikefield Hazard, so we have 15 red sources. Even that's kind of pushing it.
It definitely, I think it's one of the difficulties of this meta, where being on that many Field of Ruins is obviously going to be great with this much mono green running around. But at the same time, I don't think you can comfortably cut into everything else that you do just to get maybe a couple extra percentage points there.
Yeah, I also think we should have a decent mono green matchup as is, just because of how fast we're going to turn the corner. But Aries audio is super low. Heard. Check again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
We had some audio issues that we had to reboot a second ago, so it's possible we're not quite there yet. Maybe I'm just super loud. You ever think of that?
I mean, you are super loud. That's
All right, I have you to max volume now, so. Loading was telling me to shut up. I get it. And that was a long queue, and then it still failed. That's crazy. Oh, I forgot to add your little blue border so you can be framed like me.
I mean, I don't want to get framed. That doesn't usually go well.
All right, Strats again. I don't know. I'm pretty excited for this deck. I think that it should be good against most of the stuff that we were expecting to see. I also think there's like, if you're expecting more, like a lot of aggro or something, you can just go up to 4 Strangle, go up to 4 Bone Crusher Giant, and still be fine against like, these mono red decks or spirits, whatever you're planning to see. So I think it's kind of a flexible core as long as you keep the 4 Cleansing Wildfires, the 4 Fires. All of these, I would say, you can even trim some Chandras or trim a Sweltering Suns, depending on what you want to look at. So
yeah, I was
Jeez.
actually going to make the same point that part of the thing that's cool about this is that you do have the ability to change around there's a lot of flex spots, and that's not always the case, especially with a deck like this, where you need to fit in your sort of, I don't know if it's fair to say Fires of Invention is a combo piece, but you're like pseudo combo piece.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty core to it, but all right, we actually got in the game for once, so that's nice. I think I'm gonna keep this. I guess it's a little questionable, but 2 redraws. I don't know. I guess not being able to ramp or guarantee a land makes maybe we don't, but
I don't love it just because there's like, I don't love it. I don't think I would keep this hand.
all right, we'll ship it away. Yeah, this is way better. This is like way better. I'm actually gonna get rid of the Sweltering Suns just so that we have turn 3 Fires into Thought Knot. This is obviously bad if we run into mono red or something, but that's great to see. Tap land is exactly what we want to see here. We'll start with Den. We might actually end up casting this Valakut because we already have the lands for our opening. Well, this is surprising.
What is opponent on?
I was thinking it was going to be like angels or company or humans, but I don't know if you just don't have 2 drops at that point. We did remove the wastes right before the stream, basically, so that is one thing for the Field of Ruin and the Cleansing Wildfire to keep into place. I just figured if you're Cleansing Wildfiring yourself already, you probably don't need the colorless, and if you need the colorless, you don't have to cash in the Field of Ruin, so it didn't matter too much. Oh, I'm too far over here.
So this is Bant something, and they shocked in the Hallowed Fountain. So
6 Spell Queller, maybe it's Spirits. I don't usually see the forest for Spirits though.
Yeah, that's not what my first thought is Spell Queller, but
I think we still jam these Fires first though, right?
Is it Fires first, or is it Thought Knot Seer?
Well, if this does resolve, I'd love to go Fires into Thought Knot Seer. What does the new Bant Charm do? A thing?
I don't know the name of it. So.
I don't even know the name of that faction. Is it Brokers? We gotta think this one out now.
All right, our Discord MTG bot isn't working.
Okay, here we go. It is green, white, blue. Target creature you control deals damage or draw 2. So maybe it's this? That's stupid to just blindly guess this card that no one knows about? I'm gonna jam Fires. I feel like you don't play this deck and then not jam the Fires. And it immediately resolves, so they're doing something end of turn. Okay, so it's just Bant control. Interesting.
Okay. That's not what I expected. I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't that.
It's super tempting to not take this. Oh no, they do have double white. I guess they take the Verdict no matter what, right?
I think so, yeah.
Teferi's kind of scary though. Oh, we're the Den, I guess. I guess we're okay. Yeah, we'll do it this way.
And even if they Teferi, you can just stomp it. Yeah,
it's true. If they add some minus for it, yeah. Interesting. Maybe it's like a Bant Flash brew. Maybe they're designing the wolf and all that.
That could be cool. That'd be a neat way to take it. This could also just be like a taking turns variant too.
What's the green for there, though? So putting this on green is super weird to me. It's super heavy in the green mana base.
I mean, it would just be for ramp. I'm not sure actually. That you're right about that.
I guess we start with Thought-Knots here.
Don't you always?
I kind of want to Valakut some of these lands away, but I guess we'll see what we see first. Okay, so they don't have a lot.
They've got a whole lot of nothing.
I wonder if I'm supposed to actually Valakut away this Bone Crusher and then just swing at this with the 1 from Bugbear. I don't know how much Bone Crusher is getting done. The alternative is just to ship away 1 land and redraw another card and then just still swing Bugbear. I think we're definitely swinging with Bugbear, I guess, is the opening part of this. I can't think of wasting a spell on the Stomp being worth it for 1 more damage.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense.
So I think that drawing into Cavalier and Reality Smasher is just so important here. Or so powerful here.
Additional Thought-Knot Seers.
Yeah, I think this is fine. I know we have another Awakening we're probably going to cast, but they do hit something. Foretold. Okay.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's
Saw it coming.
That's Alrin's Epiphany.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be taking turns.
So you're full on the taking turns, but what is the green for? What is the purpose of it?
For,
just Tameo?
For ramp, it's for Tameo. And I want to say there's something else, but
so we actually already have lethal the next 2 turns, so I'm going to actually just go this for everything and try to hit a 5-drop. Except I'm going to misclick, and I'm going to put it into play instead. So
big plays.
We might just Shock Face and play the Bone Crusher here. Yeah, I wanted to get rid of the whole hand and hopefully hit a 5-drop. Because hitting Cavalier or Reality Smasher here is insane. I guess I just Stomp. Yeah, let's just Stomp and cast it. Still pretty good. Again, turn 5, we've already completely just turned the gear here. Which is exactly what we're looking to do.
So much, and you're able to work your way through their hand, which is just, once again, very, very good.
There is the Epiphany. Is there a chance we just die here and this is just like they combo off here?
There's a chance, but it's going to be hard for them to draw enough cards to both go off. Yes, there's a chance, but I think it's going to be very difficult. Because they're at a point where they're just going to be, pecking you for 2, and then, they need to keep ripping Time Warps.
Notably, Supreme Verdict doesn't get them out of this yet. I guess just 3 more Alrin's Epiphanies will do it, but well, there's number 2.
Yep.
Now it's 4 birds pecking Airwave.
They have 1 card in hand.
Alright, we got there.
No fear, Shakespeare.
Alright, so against control, we don't need the Strangles probably, or the Sweltering Suns. I think we bring in this Skype Clan Berserker, which is a pet card of mine. I'm not even sure it's really good, to be honest. I just like bringing it in decks like this when I'm able to.
You want the
probably Fries, yeah, which are way better than Rending Volley in this particular situation. Yeah, I think this is good. Bone Crusher is not my favorite card to leave in versus control, but in a deck like this, I think it's totally fine just to have a body on 3 that needs to be dealt with. We didn't see any permission that game at all.
They play. The last time I played them, they played very, very light permission.
So 2 tap lands and the Fable. I think it's a little too slow with a double Reality Smasher, so I think I'm going to mulligan this. Opponent snap keep 7, but I think this is okay. I don't think this is a good hand. I also don't think it's worth mulliganing. I'm probably going to put a Mountain back and then Valakut Awakening tapped first turn in case we do draw Cleansing Wildfire. You want to have a certain amount of mountains in your deck. Opening with Den. I guess we could have put Valakut tap, but... Okay. I was thinking Search for Escanto when they started tapping, but...
They do play Search for Escanto, though.
What's this? It's a pretty cool card, actually. So they get to start bringing lands to their hand? Love that card. Do I Cleansing Wildfire now? Just to try and snipe stuff? Or do I wait until something flips? I think I want to start running them out of basics if they're going to start tutoring for them.
That makes sense.
It's either this or wait for a utility land, but I think we have enough. We have a turn 3
You have
play.
enough stuff that you want to do.
Yeah, I don't want to skip this turn, really. Can we draw the Citadel? That would have been nice to have. They do replace with another Fars. And then Gross Prowl in main phase. Interesting. And Whiff. Wow.
That is a great sign.
I think I'm going to go, because we have the Thought Knot follow-up, I'm actually going to start with the Scab Clan.
I think that makes total sense.
Also, I just love casting this card, so... Opponent definitely stumbling here, and the tap land as insult.
Yeah, I don't... Opponent stumbling like this is just...
It's bad for testing.
It's good for you. I'm okay with it. I feel no mercy for the taking turns deck.
I don't even know if it's mercy, it's more like it's hard to get a feel for your deck when your opponents are saying.
I mean,
interesting to not cast
you
this.
just take the verdict, right?
Yeah, I think for sure. 3 to fairies, so there's still 2 lands off. Obviously, this land, they don't have to draw the land. They can just tutor for it and then play it out, but... So they're going to have it for sure. They have to fairy next turn. I guess we're just going to swing and then go Fable and play our tap land instead of a Reality Smasher.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't wipe the board, they're in a pretty below average position, I would say.
There's no way, this doesn't ramp at all, right? Until it hits 7? 7 or more lands, yeah. Look at that ugly whiteboard of planes, too.
I like it just because it forces you to say, look at that ugly white border planes.
True, true. They're going to take 2 from this already. I guess it has to be verdict exactly, and even then they're going to go to 2. Just a fairy. So I think this is game over. I could be wrong.
That feels good.
Well, they concede on stack of the trigger, so... Alright, 1-0. So far, so good.
Unbeatable.
Yeah, the best deck in the format for sure.
So, how does it feel to break, king of the midrange over here?
Yeah, that's right. Midrange king. Bo Dingles is actually the one that showed me that, where I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you have to see your new nickname. So I'm going to get that tattooed on my chest.
We stan a pioneer midrange king.
I do think there is some poor development of some of these mid-range decks in Pioneer. So I don't think it's necessarily that I'm particularly good at it. I just think that people are kind of stuck in the same the same mid-range decks.
I'm not good at it. It's everyone else who just sucks.
I think I don't know. I think people are really stuck on this idea that black red is just like the only mid-range deck, and it's like the most mid-rangey of mid-range decks. So I get it. It does everything mid-range deck needs to do, but there's different ways to attack a meta, and I don't think that list is super flexible. Where I think mid-range decks are better when they can kind of bounce back and forth between control or aggro based on what they're playing against or what they expect to see. And that deck is kind of very like, we're going to play the best black-red cards and call it a day.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that black-red deck.
I don't think it's bad. It's very fine. It's just like there's not a lot of choices to be made in it.
I think it's fine. I just find it flawed.
I think I'm not looking at this.
Like, kind of unexciting.
I don't think I can keep this. This is basically a 5-land hand with no action on the draw.
It seems below it.
I'm going to keep this. I think we ship back the 5-drop and then use these as lands.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think the Sweltering Sun on 3 can maybe save us, depending on what they open with. Okay, we're going to untapped.
So I would guess either Oven or some of those green decks are splashing black now.
Yeah, the first land being green though, or being Overgrown Tomb, not having like, don't you mulligan most hands without Oath or Dork? So this is probably Niftalite, right?
Yeah, Niftalite.
They actually don't hit anything with this. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, now they know you're a dumb Fires of Invention deck.
It's true. This is actually a deck that I'm going to wish I had 4 Field of Room for, because I feel like you can actually kind of keep them off colors a little bit. I don't think I guess what else is there to strangle than Valky, right?
Tolsimir, Friend of Wolves, or whatever it's called.
Isn't that like a 4/4?
I think it's a 3/3. I played against this deck and they were playing Greasefang earlier.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm not gonna play around Greasefang necessarily, but if we see them dump a Parhelion, you know what's weird when you play the guy? I didn't see any way for them to actually put Parhelion in the graveyard.
Yeah, I was very confused and I absolutely hated it.
I think I will strangle. I don't think I have any targets, and I'm not going to hold it for a 5-drop. There's a very good chance we cycle this Sweltering Suns anyway next turn.
Well, I think it depends whether they... if they play a Caryatid, would you...
Well, that's true, yeah. I would have 100% Sweltering Suns, yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I hold it in my hand if they don't play one, but... It's a very green-focused mana base right now. Okay. So we do hit our last land for Fires and Chandra next turn. Hopefully we can get another 5-drop and another land in our next few draws in order to get to a double 5-drop term if Fire sticks. This might just get Dovin's Veto though, so not gonna overreact too much. Okay, it looks like they're gonna miss their land drop, which is a big deal against this deck. Oh, just kidding. Just kidding. I said looks like, alright. I'm expecting a veto here, but I still think I'm going to go right into it. Ooh, Thought-Knot's also interesting. I don't think you play Thought-Knot just to play around veto. Do I play Thought-Knot now? To maybe snipe a Bring to Light?
I think you're supposed to.
I don't really have any real way to handle a Resolve Niv Mizzet. What is this? So the top card of their deck is Bring to Light for sure. So let's just plan on that. No fetch land. I think Omnath I don't care about because Chandra answers it. So the question is, do I want to get rid of Nahiri or Extinction Event?
So if they spend their turn extinction eventing your Thought Knot, I think that's fine.
So take the Nahiri, let them do that, and then go Chandra Reality Smasher? I could buy that. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Even if they Omnath this turn, I'm still going to Chandra Reality Smasher and kill the Omnath.
Yeah, and Extinction Event is only hitting one thing either way there, so...
They do start with Omnath. I wonder if they drew a Fable. Their top 2 cards were Fable and Bring to Light. Just get ready.
Not quite.
Yeah, we can basically entirely blank this Deafening Clarion. I think Mountain's actually better than Cascading Cataracts in this deck, because we don't have Kolos. I guess first I'm going to... This doesn't matter. I'm going to kill this now. Swing 9. Yeah, I guess it's such a dominating board state already. I know they have answers to it, but I'm going to crack this Ruins and return, I believe.
It makes sense with the Cataracts.
The only time it can hurt is if we draw Cavalier or the Valakut Awakening, but I still think those are good draws regardless, so I'm not too worried about it.
Curious to see whether he names Otter even here.
I would think they just need to draw the cards. I think you always go even. Okay. Play this first in case we hit a 5-drop and then plus. We do hit a 5-drop, and I believe this is lethal.
That is so good.
Especially when I do this.
Hold cast with fires?
You're right. True. It was still lethal, for the record.
It's not
but
about
you're right.
It being correct for the record. It's about being able to deal as much damage as possible.
Yeah, that would have been 19 damage. Yeah, so that's pretty... This is something that's like having the Reality Smasher have access to. Like, this is a way more likely outcome than drawing Golos here, where the game extends. Like, we have a very clear, like in MOBA, they would call it like a power spike, like a level spike. We hit a certain level, which for us is 5 mana, and like, alright, our deck peaks here. I think that where we get into trouble is when you play versus like a control deck, that you hit this point and don't do enough, you know? Like, they already have your counter spells up, or settle the wreckage or some nonsense. And then all of a sudden you are out of gas and have no actual... You have no real grind potential beyond, like, Fable and Chandra.
I mean, you say no real grind potential besides Fable and Chandra, like Fable and Chandra.
Right. I'm more just comparing it to, like, the original version of the deck that has Golos and Karn and is much more ready to play a 13-turn game than we are. Like, no, we want this game to end. You
do have 6 cards that allow you to get rid of all your lands.
It's true, too, yeah.
Like...
Also, everyone seems to forget about this last ability of Cavalier Flame, where when it dies, it hits planeswalkers and people for the amount of lands in your graveyard. I've definitely sniped some planeswalkers I didn't deserve to snipe by opponent not knowing that.
That card, it has a lot of text and it doesn't get played. What do you expect?
Do I want Scab Clan Berserker here?
So, what are we cutting? We're cutting Strangle and Sweltering Suns?
I think so. You kind of got me into Sweltering Suns by mentioning Caryatid, but I don't think it's worth keeping in.
Sweltering Suns is better on the play than the draw, because on the draw, they're still getting their 4 drop down.
True. You're right, this only really stops a Nibulite. So I can see that. I don't think Strangle does anything, though, really.
It hits Valky, which I don't think you care about.
I really don't. And then you hit a creature last time.
And then I think it's just whether you want Red Cap Melee or Fry.
Well, Fry hits... doesn't even kill Niv Mizzet, right? But it'll kill Omnath, so I think I want this for Omnath.
But Red Cap also hits Omnath.
They do run Dovin's Veto, though. I think I'd rather this. I don't think the 1 mana is going to matter by the time Omnath comes into play.
Fry also hits Tolsimir, Friend of Wolves.
True. Not on Gigantha. I mean, it's definitely something to actually think about. Like, Normally I'd be making fun of you right now, but like the fact that there's no Giganta means they are on something like that. I'm sure there's some other one that we can't think of right now. Maybe it's Parhelion. Maybe that really is what it is. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I think Tulsimir's are a real card. Like, it's blown me out enough as an aggro player.
This is kind of iffy. I think if I had a Citadel, I would keep this, but the fact that I don't...
Yeah, if you had a way to leverage the Wildfire, it'd be one thing. Like, you could look at this as a hand where you're looking to try to take them out on lands, but
yeah,
it seems sussy.
I think this is better. I'm gonna send back the Reality Smasher. I think
I'd send back the Stomp Giant.
I guess you already have the turn 3 play.
Yeah.
You know, if I send back the Stomp Giant, they're definitely gonna turn to Alchemy though. Is this a better... If they play Carry Kid, isn't this just a better 3-drop though?
Yeah, that's true. Maybe you do send back the Smasher.
I guess I could
send back the
Berserker.
Maybe Berserker's bad on the draw.
Might be bad regardless, because even on the play, you hit the Carry Kid first.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can see arguments for any of these three, honestly. I want to send back the Giant just so that I can...
Call me an idiot when
No, I want to see how this feels. I guess in the draw, maybe I will send this back. I'm gonna fear the Carry Kid enough, I think. I think we're gonna give that card the respect it deserves. I could Cleansing Wildfire and then Field of Ruin as my first 2 turns.
I think that's a realistic line here, given what their deck is. But
okay, this Spiral.
Carry added.
I'm still a turn away from being able to cast that though. So interesting. Okay, so this is blue green.
You found the indestructible land.
Do I still hit their lands, knowing that I don't have another 4-drop for this? So right now these two are every color, right? So if we hit Savai, they can grab planes and still have every color. So I guess I go for my own. I think if their mana base was kind of like it was the first game, where it was a bunch of... It was green, white, green, black, green, blue. And you can kind of, maybe make it a little more awkward for them. But I think with this that we're going to... I think this is a better play here. We could draw into a 4-drop. Or even a second 5-drop where Fire sticks because they go double 5-drop. The only issue is they're going to have... Oh no, this is definitely better, because now we actually hit our 5 before... Oh no, they grow Spiral. Damn, man. A lot of ramp going on in this game. Is this Omnath? Green, white, blue, red? Nahiri, okay.
Huh.
Well, that's a great draw.
There's your 4-drop, buddy.
That's a perfect draw. Maybe not perfect, but up there. I'm gonna slam this Ramanov down.
Forcing me.
I hope they only have one Bring to Light or Nymph effect, but...
Well, they're only going to have one here, but...
The top of their deck, of course, is going to be...
Well, they have 2 draws, so...
Oh, true. We definitely just take this Niv.
Yeah.
Colossus is interesting. We could definitely race that ability, but we can't really handle it if the game stalls. I wonder if they discard this K command here? Well, it looks like they just drew it on the top of their deck. Oh no, Colossus, okay. I don't know if I agree with that. I think I'd almost rather discard something trying to hit your amazing 5-drop. Oh, that's right, they can kill fires. Still.
Them hitting fires isn't the end of the world here for you, though.
So if we're going to assume they have removal and I'm going to send Smasher to Nahiri, even though it's 1 damage overkill?
So what removal could they have to kill Thought-Knots here?
Well, they have white, so it could be that Investigate kill spell. The card is name always forget.
Yep, that makes sense.
I don't know if they necessarily always run that, but
I feel like they don't, just because Niv doesn't hit it.
I'm still gonna fear it, I think. Unless they're just that afraid of it that they would just cash in their Harry for it. I don't know. I guess I don't think the one damage removal is worth it. The one extra damage, I guess, is not worth the risk. I'd rather them have to spend another card.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Although I guess technically, if they kill Reality Smasher, discard K Command, they still get the redraw off killing Exiling Thought-Knot Seer. So it's still not great for me, but they must have Tybalt in hand in order if they're going to hit a land. Or maybe they're double 3-dropping.
Could be another 3-drop.
This doesn't actually do much here, though. The K Command. Not what I was expecting there. I wasn't expecting one of their 3-drops to be cycling a Triumph. Okay. Good start.
Yeah, I think that definitely shows, like, sort of the power of this deck, especially within this meta.
I think I just made you too big or too small, but what are you going to do?
I mean, you make me too big far too often, so...
It's what brothers do.
It's not gay for brothers.
Yeah, deck feels good, though, for sure. It's very, I like when you put a deck together and it actually functions the way you imagine it.
I would like to see how this deck looks against some of the more aggressively tilted things in the format.
I'm curious if it's like you draw Sweltering Suns or die. I think it's fixable, though. I think that is the case. I think you go up to 4 Strangle and it helps tremendously.
You can go up to 4 Strangle. I mean, you could go up to 4 Sweltering Suns.
Yeah. There's just answers for like spirits and mono red and humans. I think there's like the red is one of the colors that can handle that if you're dedicated to beating it. So, but I feel that way about all mid-range decks. Kind of like what you're talking about. I think that the flexibility is kind of built into it in order to kind of make it what it is. You know, so like this is what I would play in this meta maybe. But if I bring this to my local game store and everyone's on mono red, it would look very differently. I'd be on like red-white with like the white Cavalier that has lifelink or something.
Yep.
Hey, Dragon Party Podcast. Invoke Despair is a card I actually thought of for something like this, but that's we were talking earlier about how the original version has like the Golos Karn like grindy mindset. And this is looking to be much more aggressive, where Invoke Despair to me is a very grindy card advantage based card. Great card. But that's more like, I think that would be more of a flexible, like, later game version. I don't even know if I would run Cavaliers in that version. I think I would run just Invoke Despair and then maybe some more, like, 5-drop Planeswalkers and kind of more grindy stuff. This hand's almost like, good.
Yeah, it'd be good if it had 3 more lands.
I think we've mulliganed every set so far, game 1. I
think you're going to mulligan again here.
I sure am.
Yeah, I feel like the Cavaliers is... It's one of those cards that you really need other creatures to help leverage it in this type of shell. And having the Eldrazi's, having the Fables, having the Bone Crushers, etc., etc.
Oh, Thoughtseize is a perfect example of a card that like that. I would never run... even if I had black, I don't think I would run Thoughtseize in this deck. Ball, it makes sense in that one. That's a pretty good draw. We are against humans this time, it looks like. Although it could be angels.
It's angels. That's not humans.
Why do they run this? It seems so...
I don't know. I hated it every single time I played it. When I was playing, when I tried out Angels.
What's Mastermind Acquisition? That's the tutor that grabs from sideboard or deck.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool. That's like the old Super Friends Fires list used to run Wish Granted, right? And they used to take it for it. Oh, the Black Cavalier. That is cool. I actually do like that. I'm hoping this Sweltering Suns hits something. And it's not like Bishop awaiting something I can't answer, but well, that's pretty good actually. I do like the Black Cavalier. I actually ran Black Cavalier in my first attempt at building Black Green Yawgmoth in Modern. Oh, is this going to be just a no land drop? Well, I actually am going to go Fires into Sweltering Sun, it looks like.
Yeah. Seems like a plan.
This is an interesting 7-card keep from them.
So they have to have, like, real power if this is their plan.
If we don't hit land, we can actually Chandra into Reality Smasher by playing this for free and plussing red. I'm guessing they have like 1 or 2 drops, like Giada and Bishop of Wings. Man, we are getting some gift wrap wins today.
So talented,
some gift wrap,
funny, and smart and handsome.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna bring in Fry and Lava Coil. The Lava Coil part is actually relevant because of some of the death triggers. I don't know if Sweltering Suns is good. I don't think I cut it though.
So would you rather have Anger instead of Sweltering Suns here?
Maybe, but how many of this effect do I want? Like 0 or 4?
Let me pull up the list.
Because I know it's a lot of X4s, so there's that 3-mana 2/4 Angel Cleric that this won't hit. Bishop of Wings, it won't kill. It'll hit Giada, but I'm on the draw, so if I'm hitting Giada, that means they've already untapped and used it, which means they're already growing other stuff out of it. I think I might want 0, honestly. As weird as that is, I know we just won the game of casting 1 there, but...
So you can hit Youthful Valkyrie, you can hit Giada, you can hit all the 1-drops.
It hit Youthful Valkyrie for 1 turn only though, right?
You hit Resplendent Angel and you hit Skyclave Apparition.
Oh, the Angel. That 3-drop Angel is actually a really good hit.
There's also a non-zero chance that they bring in Archon of Emeria here.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I do want them. I might want 4.
I mean, you might want them more than Strangles, to be honest.
I like Strangle on the draw being able to hit their 2-drop if it's Giada.
Right, but you have Fry and Lava Coil.
Yeah, it's true. This is true. I guess we can do this. Cut these.
Like, I think of it as like you're looking for cuts. Like
cutting Strangle versus the creature Coco deck seems so...
I mean,
I'm not saying it's wrong. It feels weird.
Crusher might be bad, too.
Yeah, I like that cut a lot more, actually. Because 3 damage actually seems more relevant than 2.
Yeah, 3 is more relevant than 2, but like you're looking for multiple cuts.
I think we're going to switch to the 2 Angers only. And then maybe we'll go down to Chandra.
I mean, what about going down a Fable?
Oh, I can cut a Valakut Awakening, no problem, actually. I think on the draw it's fine to cut a land. I think that's the first land to go in this situation. Because Spikefield hits that 1-drop.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. Skyclave makes sense that they would bring in too. That's another good point to bring up.
Well, Skyclave's main decked.
It also it hits fire, so I think it's reasonable for them to keep it just for that. That was a multi 5 too, wasn't it? It just happened to just concede before the game started, basically. This hand's a little awkward, but I think I'm going to keep it. I think just having Strangle and Lava Coil is worthwhile here.
Yeah, and if you draw a indestructible land turn 2, like you have a lot of leeway here.
Yeah. Okay, they don't play 1-drop. Honestly, any untapped land would be great if they do play the Bishop of Wings. Strangle handles Giada very well, though. Okay, no play again. We're gonna hope for this 3rd land. We'll Cleansing Wildfire for it if we need to. Yeah, anger missing on this is a little painful. Okay. I'm definitely supposed to just coil this now, right? Not play games and play Fable first?
I mean, that's not going to trigger... Well...
They could Coco into 2 hits.
They could Coco, yeah. Maybe.
But if I Coco, am I still supposed to just want to Fable anyway? I guess I'll coil. I think we'll play safe. We'll force them to actually have something like Coco going on. I think they're going to have it because they didn't actually do anything beforehand, but maybe we can steal one with Thought-Nuts here. Yeah, this is a Coco. Alright.
Nah, man. This could be anything.
Let's just play the Thought-Knot. Hopefully grab something else. They could let it resolve. They have 2 Cocos, which they do, of course. Of course, and the Skyclave, so it's a little scary. Definitely taking a Coco.
They can have awkward Coco hits, though. Like, their deck isn't, like...
No, it's not jam-packed of relevant hits on an empty field, yeah. It could be. It could hit 2 great hits, but, you're right. It's not a... This isn't like a guarantee like a lot of decks would be.
I didn't play a ton of this deck. Just, like, from what I did play, I was unimpressed by the empty board Cocos.
This is pretty good when they follow it up. It'd be a lot worse if they could follow it up with another Coco right now, so... Thank you, Thoughtlot's here, I guess, but... Oh, I wonder if they take the turn off and pump this up? Oh, it looks like no.
They cannot.
Isn't it 5? Oh, it's 6 mana, okay.
6 mana.
And it looks like the Valkyrie's coming down as well.
Yeah.
So this is really rough. This was quite a turnaround from them with 2 Cocos. Okay, I think we have to strangle the Resplendent Angel, as bad as that feels.
Yep.
I think this card just kills us and then triggers this to go make everything big. I guess we also go Fable afterwards.
Why is Righteous Valkyrie a 4/6?
Giada pumps up angels for other angels when it comes in battlefield.
So for each other angel?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Huh.
Yeah, that's why I like this card. Like, it can get really out of control. This is one of the reasons I was wanting to keep Strangle in, but really because turn 2 makes it so scary. They can't cast Coco off of it, which is actually pretty relevant because only for Angel Spell, but like they can do some nutty stuff with it for sure. I think we're just discarding until we hit fires or a sweep, I guess.
Well, I think a lot comes down to what they play here, because a sweep isn't necessarily going to do anything.
Yeah, we might lose a game before we untap, honestly.
Yeah, this is...
One more angel and they have lethal, I believe.
One more angel and...
Because it's 8 plus 12, so it's 20 damage if they gain 1 more life right now. Which I'm guessing they can't, because wouldn't you have slammed it by now? Okay. Can't even be mad. I've played a lot of Dromoka's Command this week. Played a lot of Dromoka's Command. So we're digging. Well, dead, right?
Yeah, you're just dead on board.
What would our draw be off Cleansing Wildfire? Doesn't matter. What are you gonna do? Wow.
Angel's better than ELDRAZI.
Yeah, clearly. They fought off the Phyrexians after all.
So is Stomp better on the play?
Better than what, I guess is the question.
I think you could shave 1 shun.
I actually feel like we don't need this much late game. I think it's more about making sure their angels don't get out of control. So I feel like this is one of the matchups you actually don't need much of this. Thought-Knot seems so much better now than it would. Like, imagine we got to snipe both Cocos with our 2 Thoughtseizes.
Yeah, I think that Thought-Knot on the play is better than the draw. I could see going down 1 Chandra because you are playing so many burn spells.
It's also like if they have multiple creatures, it just kills something and dies. I just feel like there are better options. I think I want the Sweltering Suns back in.
You brought in a Valakut Awakening. Oh, yeah.
I do, yeah. I do. I'm right back in the play. I think I want this land in. I might cut 2 shot. Well, maybe Fable's not great here either.
I'm kind of anti-Fable right now.
Like in general, or this matchup?
I don't think it's great in this matchup. You saw the Dromoka's Command, which is already going to make it more awkward.
I guess if it's hitting a Fable, it's not hitting fires, though, right?
That's true.
Kind of want some amount of Bone Crushers in. I also might just want to sacrifice lands and kill things with 4 toughness. Maybe we go to 2 Bone Crusher instead of the Strangles. Well, I don't know. I think this is okay.
It's fine. I think trying to figure out like how many of each is tough in this matchup.
Yeah.
Especially with this iteration of the deck.
Let's try this. I think 3 of the anger effects could be good. I don't think we want it at all costs, but we also want to draw it. This is such an awkward hand. If you can guarantee me my next 2 cards are lands, I'm kind of interested in it, but...
I don't think this hand's good.
This I will keep. We're gonna need to hit some lands, but I'm gonna get rid of the Thought Knot here. Just because we don't have the colorless land. Otherwise, I think in the even world, I get rid of Chandra.
I mean, you have Fires. Fires is your colorless land.
True. Both of us mulled to 6. And we do miss our land drop. Our land draw. Okay, let's draw this land for Anger of the Gods. We did it. I'm just going to cast this now.
I think that's totally fair.
And then we're just going to cast Fry on whatever the 3-drop is. Well, Anger won't kill the Cleric, but...
It depends if you draw land.
Oh yeah, land into Fire Chandra would be pretty great here. Never didn't have it.
Look at you. Hey, look at you.
Yeah, I guess in this situation, Chandra's just great and just way better than other things we can do. It's just way worse in the back foot in a matchup like this. I wonder if we want any bigger sweepers like Hour of Devastation or something, sideboard? Is that a cat's tail I see?
Yes, it is very much a cat's tail.
Very cute. They're going to Coco main phase. I wonder if they're fishing for Skyclave, which is all they hit. Oh, it feels so good.
Is surprisingly not good here.
It feels so good to see that. I'm going to Fires first. Then we're going to plus Chandra. I guess I just don't cast that and I just
I think
Fry
you
instead.
need to protect your Chandra and Fry the Skyclave.
It would have felt pretty good to draw a card there, though.
I agree, but
I think the fact that Skyclave grabbed a 4/4 is also super relevant and not like a 2/2. I guess it's a real threat right now.
Yeah, it's an actual creature.
Okay. I don't know if I agree with that now that I already have. You just gave me my 6th land.
It's a weird choice.
I'm gonna coil this. I think that they just kind of got like a tunnel vision on the Fires of Invention when it wasn't necessarily that great.
Yeah. Are you gonna cash in your Awakening?
I think so. You can argue that like I can wait, but I think it's better just to see what I'm gonna draw now. I almost don't want to cast this because if we hit Cavalier, I'd rather discard both. I'm gonna cast that.
They have 1 card in hand.
They have 1 card in hand. It could be Settle, could be Coco. I'm gonna swing.
I mean, if they're settling you, I think we're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm a little afraid of Coco, but
Coco's the worst card to deal with here.
Okay. Now I think I Fires. I'm gonna keep the Cataracts in hand again for Cavalier or for Bellica's Awakening.
Yeah, it's unimportant to have another land.
Well, that seems good.
It's fine, I guess. I've seen worse.
If we hit another creature, this could definitely be lethal, but it looks like they do have Coco or something.
I mean, just make them have it.
Let's see if they have it. I don't know why you wouldn't play that. I guess they're afraid of hitting Chandra just killing it. I don't know. But that's lethal there. Yeah, this is exactly why we built the deck this way.
Pump it again.
I thought for some reason
Pump it again.
For some reason I thought they conceded. One more time for Airwave. But yeah, this is exactly why we built the deck this way. Because like when you actually hit the corner, man, like this was such a crazy turnaround from dawdling to them being dead.
I mean, Chandra is just a good Magic card.
Even like Cavalier into Thought here, like that's just so much damage like off the top of our deck. Really crazy. Good 3-0 start for the Brewsday.
Don't jinx it, man.
I'm just saying. Listen, 3-2 is fine. We've had way worse than these.
I only went like 1-4 with goblins our first
I
time.
went 3-2 with Calyx, but it was like took so long. We were so tired at the end of it. I was just like, can we just finish this up? I think that deck is way worse now, actually, than it was when we made it. I think everything it's good against is now kind of fallen out of meta, other than like maybe Phoenix, but... Okay, opponent is playing for the trophy. I somehow got rid of my game and chat log. Alright, this is... I think I'm all again.
Is it?
I think, well, I guess we don't have double red for Sweltering Suns, is why I'm leaning Mulligan.
But you're on the draw.
If they like flood the field, like 1-drop, 2-drop, like let's say they go like Monosave Swift Spear or like Kumano into Eidolon, and I don't hit the red land, I guess I keep it. I'll keep it.
I just don't know how many like hands are going to be better. See, you always have the red land.
Always have the red land. I think I want to get more of these mountains. These are cool. It looks like blue-black, probably blue-black control, which has been seeing a huge resurgence recently.
Yeah, I've been seeing a handful of that recently.
I think it's good. I don't really like their threat suite. Like, the threats they run, I'm not a big fan of.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, they run, like, main deck Hull Breacher and all that. And, like, Shark Typhoon Resolved is, like, a genuine game plan of theirs. But I think the actual control core is really good.
I don't think Hull Breacher is in this format, sir.
Hull Breaker? Is that what I'm thinking of? Hull Breaker Horror?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying.
I did not.
I'm just gonna jam this this Fable here, I believe.
I think that's correct.
I know they might have the little chat or whatever, but I think we have enough threats here.
If they want to censor it, fine. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, make it disappear. That's what it's called, not a little chat.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have to.
We do have a decent amount of must-answer cards right here, though. Like, I think I just jammed this Fires first. They'll probably counter it, but then we can Thought Knot, hopefully. Okay, consider first.
Hold the baby. Hold.
Put push in the graveyard.
Hold.
Does resolve. We're gonna go right to Thought Knots here. Okay, so I think we take Soul Shatter, or we concede that this is gonna die and take Dig Through Time.
Why do we have to concede that it's going to die?
I'm saying if we take Dig Through Time. I'm saying we can... Basically, their hand's gas. Let's just call it. Let's just start there. But we're going to have Fires online, so our next turn is going to be Smasher and Chandra.
You know what? I like taking Dig just because they're so... Yeah.
Like, they're going to get Tainted Indulgence,
no
matter what we take. We're going to have 6 cards in graveyard, and then Dig for 2 mana.
Yeah, I think taking the Dig is good here.
I don't know if anything matters here. It seems like they have such a great hand, but we'll see what happens. I think I'll take the Dig.
I mean, it's not like your hand is bad.
No, of course. No, I'm just saying. I think Dig is, like, insurmountable in some ways, and the rest isn't. If that makes sense?
It does. My gut is always just take the Soul Shatter and just go lol face, but...
I almost wouldn't even mind them killing the Thought Knot Seer or Soul Shatter if I'm going to resolve a Reality Smasher. So... that's their land. So I'm going to play Spikefield, then Chandra, I believe. Yeah. We'll bait with this first. Okay, that's a straight counter. So now we know their hand is Soul Shatter and Shark Typhoon.
And a blank.
If they keep on top, I'm going to Field of Ruin them, probably. Put Thought Distortion. See, Thought Distortion main deck's crazy to me. I'm gonna swing 9, and then we'll cycle the Sweltering Suns if we can. I also love that Fires kind of makes their make disappears really terrible. Soul Shadow is a very clean answer to Reality Smasher, though.
Remember that you can cycle the Sweltering Suns.
Yeah, I'm going to do that end of turn, probably, if I don't have a field target. We do now, but we can wait on it. Well, maybe I do want to just hit this Castle of Andros.
Do you? I don't think so. Not here.
I guess there's no way to actually use it right now. Okay, that's useless. That is not. I will start with that. Let's cast any card in our deck if we hit it. Man, it's just less damage to cast it, right?
Yeah, and I mean, you do have the Stomp that you can cast for 2.
Well, they don't actually really run main deck sweeps, so I might, after the Soul Shatter, I might just play the Giant.
They do run Extinction Event, but that doesn't like super matter here.
I think I'm going to play a 4-3.
I think that's totally fair. So they're going to have Typhoon potentially, but they're going to need 2 answers.
I can't cast Typhoon. I don't know. They have a lot of stuff to deal with, because even Chandra could definitely get there. Like, this is a lot to deal with. And Hall isn't even a blocker.
What a gamer.
Okay, so Scab Clan's in. Like, Fry is weirdly bad here. I think I might want Hearses instead.
I was about to say, I think you want Hearses just because
I think they run 4 Memory Deluge
don't
too,
have
right?
better things.
Yeah, so we'll cut the Strangle and the Suns. Bring in 2 Hearses. I think this is reasonable.
Yeah, I think that's...
This also... This is one of the few decks in the format that actually can make Tainted Indulgence into a draw 2 pretty reasonably. So this stops that, gives me a kind of another threat if they're going to try to kill things. And stops Memory Deluge. I think this is good. Is it better than Fry? I think so. The only Planeswalker I think they ever run is sometimes a one of Ashiok or Narset, which I'm not really too worried about.
Would they be on both Deluge and Dig Through Time?
Yeah, for sure. I think some split. Definitely more Deluges than Dig Through Time. Sometimes it's a singleton Dig, but I don't think seeing Dig means they're not on Deluge. But also, that's pretty good against Dig, so... Okay, we're going to keep this. It's not a great hand. Let me just start with our tap land, too. There's the Fires, okay. We're going to turn 3 Fable into turn 4 Fires. Okay, we'll start with Darksteel. Tainted Indulgence, man. This card's cool. It's a fun card to cast, too. I know it's not actual card advantage early, but like there's enough like synergy and stuff that it just feels really good. There's the Extinction event, so I'm gonna guess they're on multiple. Or maybe they're just fishing for something else, but... We will walk right into this Sabotage. I might start with Chandra next turn instead of Fires, because we have the second one, and I'd like them to counter 1 Chandra before the next one. I guess it's a little early to be making that decision. This card's sweet. So now I don't think they're on Memory Deluge. If they're on that and Dig Through Time, probably not.
I was about to say, that's...
Maybe like 1, but... Alright, yeah, I think Chandra makes sense here. We probably have the counter spell. We have another one anyway, and if they don't counter it, I'm totally fine resolving a Chandra without the added value of fires. It's totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, you're just going to have to churn your way through these counter spells anyways.
Like, this is a crazy graveyard setup for Dig Through Time. The issue with them Dig Through Timing now is they have 2 black lands only. So they can't like Dig Through Time plus Sabotage. This is interesting. Here I think we do fires. And then maybe set up for a Scab Clan Fable turn if we hit a red land.
A red land is the only awkward part there, but
the only time Thought Knot would be better here than fires is if they have exactly negate.
Yep. Which we've already seen one of.
Is that worth playing into? Or trying to force?
I think with 4 cards in hand, I'm less convinced of that.
Alright, we'll start with fire. Just takes your time on stack?
Looks like it.
Takes your time on stack makes you wish it did do Thought Knot Seer, because that means they probably are looking for a counter spell, and negate gives them extra hits, but I guess 7 cards they'll probably hit the counter. I guess if you're only going to look for negate, I guess you might as well save the extra 2 cards.
I mean, they can also hit make disappear here.
That's true. I didn't even think about that one. Just stupid because there's still one in the graveyard. Okay, it is negate. That doesn't mean this was the wrong choice, because they could have another counterspell, but...
Yeah.
I'm gonna bitch about it like it is, though. It's the thing.
I mean, that's always the correct one.
Okay, I can't cast this. I'm gonna go Chandra, and then if it resolves, we'll plus. Or I can play around Make Disappear exactly with one of the 3 drops.
So, if you go Fable, it resolves, token lives. You can potentially double spell next turn.
That's a lot of ifs.
Yeah.
With a token living. I think we'll do Chandra. We might get tempoed out with these counter spells, but... it is just a sabotage. Keep the card on top. I think we just jam these until we can eventually double spell. Oof. Discard, enter the God Eternals. This card is one of my favorite cards, man.
The sickest card, man.
It has so much text. I would love for them to swing for 7 right now, I think. But Kalidas, interesting.
It's basically so.
Kalidas is actually a problem, I believe. I think now we Thought Knot Seer, right? Or maybe we Field of Ruin first?
Yeah. Well, no. I would say just to play around the make disappear.
Oh, true. Also, I guess this turns on Fatal Push. No way. Man, they had every counter so far. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I definitely missed that island off to the side.
They put the they put the card on top again. I might start with Scab Clan, and then if they animate Hall, just Field of Ruin it.
Yeah.
But this is obviously bad against a kill spell or a shatter, but...
I mean, every play is bad against that, though. Like, I just kind of think that's the position right now.
It's a little good counter, actually. Okay, there's the deluge.
So they're running hieroglyphic deluge and dig.
Could also be push here. Wow. Never thought I'd see the day. I guess I fires here. Or Fable, rather.
Yeah, Fable seems fine.
I regret playing this Darksteel Citadel because I could have discarded it next turn. I just didn't think we'd get this far.
Sometimes you gotta bully.
Okay, no attack. Interesting. We'll discard this Citadel. Well then.
Smashy, smashy.
So I think I open with fielding this Hall. And then playing one of the 5-drops. Or do I wait for the Fable flip before playing either of them?
So, if you... What's the benefit of fielding the hole now?
I can't cast it and then play field?
Oh, yeah. My fear with that is that it allows them to go kill spell, and then they can eat their zombie to have Kalidas.
I don't have to attack.
That's true.
Yeah, we can do this first. Let's do this first. Hey, don't jinx it, man. Too early for that kind of talk. Got a massive mountain I already have. If I can, I can't. This is the one-of mountain, the red-headed stepchild mountain. So we can't Cavalier and activate next turn with the Fable flip, but I'm gonna play the Smasher now. Well, actually, they have one. Am I attacking? I'm not attacking, right?
I don't think so.
So I'm gonna pass until their mana floats, and we'll go to our second main. This looks like a long shot right now, especially after they're gonna flashback this Deluge here, but I think this gives us the highest percentage to pull this game out somehow. I think we almost have to cheese them. Oh, this is pretty bad against Extinction Event also, huh? Just they can hit it on.
Yeah, but it's...
Guess we can't really play
I
around everything.
feel like that's this stage of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're trying to come back and they have a sweep, like, you're probably going to lose anyway, so yeah. Okay, Thanatos here is kind of interesting. I'm going to cast it. That's how interesting it is. A fake a Warping Whale.
What a gamer.
Okay, there's the another Sinister Sabotage. I'm still gonna wait, and then we'll Cavalier next turn. I might concede to any kill spell? Where does that is to say? Does this take through time? Okay. I'm not gonna concede to that one unless they also have... Why did they leave one mana back?
He like...
Interesting. Yeah, I think we just jam this Cavalier and it'll either work or it won't.
Yeah.
Play this Hearse first? I don't think we need something better than a Hearse right now.
It's just too late for her.
Hearse actually would have been pretty good this game, actually, if we had it early. I know I said actually twice, but that's how good it would have been.
Yeah, you might want to go up to the third one for game 3.
Well, there's a Deluge. Thanks to they don't have a counterspell. Delete this, man. At least it's not on my radar, honestly. Okay, resolve.
Necessarily. Notion thief. Huh.
I think I'm going to discard, or not discard anything, and then I'll sacrifice this Reality Smasher. Then I'll just play this and try to hit this Deluge. And we'll wait on attacking again. I know this is still a bad situation, but I think this is kind of showing that their hand isn't great. Maybe there's a little bit of hope if we hit this like Deluge and I guess the Dig, in case they're on Torrential Gearhole.
Yeah,
might be okay. I think this is a long shot. I think we're close to wrapping it up, but I don't think they've demonstrated a strong hand. There's a lot of Memory Deluge on stack of things into like middling answer, you know? Like that wasn't like into a counterspell, that was into like a weird Soul Shatter. Now we can do something like this, which can maybe actually eventually get there. I think I just attack with Cavalier. Well,
let's see.
Wait,
make it an 8/5.
We can also wait longer until we have a real team. Maybe, yeah, you know what? Let's wait until we get this Fable online. Maybe we'll get some shenanigans going. I am going to tap 2 things, though. Tap this and get Soul Shatter.
Yeah, I think you just want to like hit as many unique mana costs as possible.
Oh, they do have the castle.
It might just be a giant shard.
Yeah, I'll concede to that. Yeah. So I was wrong. Their hand was great. I do kind of want this. I wonder if I'm supposed to want Lava Coils just for stupid Kalidas. But I guess Chandra's enough. Don't got a Bone Crusher. Weak Link here.
I think that's reasonable.
Either that or a Spike Field Hazard, but
I think Spike Field being a land is better. Or more important, rather.
We're at 25 lands with the 4 spells right now. I don't think going down to 26 is that bad. I'm going to keep this. I don't think they can spell Pierce. I don't think they have that. I think setting up. We don't have a 4-drop, which is a little awkward with the start, but I still think it's worth it. And we got tons to draw into. And there's our 4-drop.
Well, you need the land.
Gotta match him, dude. He says with Mismatch Mountains in his deck. Okay, we didn't draw the land. Yet. I'm gonna open on Scab Clan. There's definitely a risk here, but I think that the benefit of slipping this under a possible counterspell, if we do get lucky, is pretty huge. Oh, they're gonna march it. Okay, so it gets 2 cards out of their hand anyway.
Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. Hitting the Tainted Indulgence.
Should we add the 6 mana Chandra to the sideboard? Is that like the best anti-control thing we can do? I'm gonna go Thoughtless here first. Well, this is bad against Soul Shatter, right? Do Chandra first. Nothing feels good here, so.
Like, isn't Chandra also bad against Soul Shatter?
Well, I get to plus and play the Hearse at least. Which I'm gonna do anyway. So their hand's not great against this.
Yeah, their hand seems... I'm whelmed by them right now.
It can turn around quickly with like a memory deluge or something. I guess our plan is a Thought Nuts here, so we just plus first, or should we start jamming Reality Smashers? Having 2 Reality Smashers and Cavalier is like a very powerful play, I guess, but I think that we go Thought Nuts here if we can. Maybe we'll get lucky, hit fires off the top. We don't.
What about a shot?
2 damage is 2 damage.
$5 is $5.
It does resolve. Okay, so there lands in Memory Deluge, so we're going to take 1, and we're going to hearse the other one.
They could Otwara the Thought Knot.
That's true. No, that is a genuine answer if we don't hit a Fable. They might have to Otwar or the Chandra, honestly, though, if they start an Assault next turn. Kind of want to land. I think land or fires are both really good.
Remember to hearse.
Yeah, for sure. I was kind of hoping they would do anything so that this could be 4, because if I do end up playing Fable, I would like to be able to attack off of it. I guess another 3-drop and then Chandra plussing for mana is pretty good. That's not good.
What about another Reality Smasher? I mean, you could plus the Chandra. Ah, no, you can't. Never mind.
Do I bottom this?
I kind of think so.
Well, actually, I have Fable.
You need lands, though.
I'm going to bottom it. I'm going to play the Fable. And I'm going to swing 7, I believe. Ooh, or we're not. Oh, okay. Maybe still not. I think maybe I have to make this dig hard to afford if I can. Say, they didn't play this Water Grave, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this now. I'm a little. I'd be giving it too much credit, but I am a little afraid of a dig through time. I like to make it cost as much of the actual land base as possible.
I mean, I think that's incredibly fair.
Okay, that's horrifying.
I'm surprised he chose you to mill for.
Me too, a little bit. This is a 5/5. Is it worth swinging with? I'll discard 1 Smasher, I think, and keep the rest. Is it time to start swinging here? With the hearse, I think I do.
I agree with you. Because you're going to make it where they're going to have to answer your board, and that's a relevant task. You can drop them to 11 with a Reality Smasher in hand for next turn.
We can also, we have a Fable train coming on, so it's getting, they're going to have to sweep or something soon. I do have 3 mystery cards in hand and tons of lands, though. Is this a Shark Typhoon? It is. We have close to lethal, I believe. I'm going to play another one of these. I'm going to be swinging 12, so they're going to have to block.
You're going to be swinging
15. I mean, sorry.
Hold on. Why?
Oh, I messed up. That's why. I was swinging 17. Yeah, I did have lethal. All right, so not super punished, but still some damage should be getting through. No, I guess I would have held this back, right?
No.
Because they can block this to here and then kill it for free and go to 1, I guess. Yeah.
They go to 1 and they don't have a board.
They go to 1 when they have Ramanap ruins on the battlefield. Yeah. Mistake. Yeah, for sure. Because now this isn't lethal if they block the way they could have. So they take 6. I'm going to play this. They still have Auto War in hand, which is pretty unfortunate. I kept a card to consider on top, which I'm guessing is the Extinction event. It's not. 2/2 Shark. Fields of Ruin, okay. Discard Fable Passage. And here's the Either Guest. Alright. I think I bottom this.
I agree.
Knowing that I want to Cavalier, and I also missed the treasure token. That's a big deal, because now I need a land to Cavalier plus trigger. This is only spells, right? Not abilities, so Adawara.
I mean, so you can go Cav.
Giving these 6 power is also super relevant. I'm gonna not discard. Now, do I crew anything?
So they have Otawara blank. If they Otawara, so what kills you here?
A kill spell.
A kill spell on
Reality Soul Shatter, maybe?
Pitching Otawara. But if you because if they shatter, you just get rid of Cavalier.
I'm gonna animate with the Goblin Shaman token, then give haste. Think it's the play?
Sure. I think you're in a very positive position. So. Especially with a Ramanap Ruins. So.
Now we are F6 and swinging out. And hopefully killing them.
Metamorphose, Subtle Wreckage.
It is Soul Shatter, so I discard this now, right?
Yeah, that doesn't have trample. It doesn't matter.
And they take 1 damage?
Yeah.
So I had to put 3 in front of here. Yeah, they're dead. I believe this is lethal. Because they only block 5 of this, they take 6. Yeah, awesome. 7, actually.
Yeah, in other words...
Sweet!
Fuck blue-black control.
If I had that extra 2 damage there, too, from that treasure, that token swing, this Ramanap would have been way more threatening. Cool. Alright. Man, yeah, this deck's fun. It feels good. It felt good putting together. It feels good now.
I think one of the things I really like about it is it's very well defined in what it wants to accomplish.
Yeah, it's very clear game plan. There's not a lot of like waffling. I think there's maybe a few too many 3-ofs and 2-ofs that we can maybe clean up, but I think it's more of a meta call based on what you want or what you expect to see. Like, I think 1 week I might play 4 Sweltering Suns, 1 week I might play none, you know? It depends on like what you're gunning for. We have hit a decent range of decks, like archetype-wise, but we haven't really hit any tier 1 decks, weirdly. We haven't really hit mono green or black-red mid-range or mono blue spirits or mono red or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that
I think it's all beatable though. Like I don't think Phoenix should be too scary for the deck that can easily main deck Anger of Gods or Lava Coil or whatever it wants.
I think also just the fact that you can turn the corner really, really fast on Phoenix is a big deal. And Thought not being able to exile
very true.
Phoenixes or even Drake is a big deal.
So this is one of the crazy Gallade ideas, but what do you think about having 4 Leyland of the Voids that you can cast off of your fires or just have in your opening hand?
I mean, I don't hate it.
This is a mulligan.
This hand's dog shit.
I mean, again, if you draw 2 lands and they do nothing, it's great, but I think I can keep this.
Yeah, I think this is keepable.
I think you send back 1 fire.
Yep.
And then, although maybe I'm afraid of Thought Thieves and I want to send back Cavalier, just because I'm so far away from it. I don't know.
You do have the Fable to send back a Fires if you want, when you get to turn 4.
Yeah, that's true. We'll do that. I think it makes sense. We also only have so many fires in the deck when we have critical mass of the 8 5-drops. So I think we're more likely to redraw one of those, like this one, for instance. Now we're kind of in trouble if we don't draw a land. Looks like black-red midrange. Looks like I called it around. Called it to us. I'm going to stomp this here. Gay Pizza Dad. There you go. He knows. Yeah, it's a bad way to fun on land, but
yeah, but that's gonna happen sometimes.
I guess when you mold to 6 in the play. Okay, this isn't bad now. They also missed. I'm gonna play the Fable, even though they might just tap this to kill it. I think it's fine.
I think that's fine though.
We also can just, it sounds stupid, we just fires and strangle it if we need to, or Bone Crusher strangle it.
Yeah, I mean, we have the ability. If they don't kill this, it's going to equal a land for us.
You know, now that I'm thinking about the fact that we have Fable and Cavalier and Valakut's Awakening, I'm like, keeping double fires definitely makes sense, because we have so many ways to get rid of the redundancy. Like, I'm definitely going to get rid of this, and probably... Well, this actually can almost kill things, right? I guess I get rid of the Strangle too, right?
Almost kill things, but it can't quite kill them.
I'm going to get rid of the Strangle.
Yeah, because you do have the Bone Crusher that you can play if you get to cast.
Yeah, but it gets cast the fires, yeah. Or even if I don't, technically if I whiff, I get 2 more 5 drops. Maybe I don't want 2 5-drops, but these are kind of how I win the game.
2 5-drops are fine. I think it's strength.
Oof.
Oof.
Not great. I don't think keeping Strangled makes this any better, though.
No.
We are technically still a little Thoughtseize proof here. Chandra's maybe a good pickup if we do hit this land. Because they might trade here, and if they don't, they're not really flooding the board with creatures anyway. I guess we run risk of them killing this with like their own Chandra and then swinging, but... I will block here. I'm totally fine making this trade here, in this situation. Okay, not the land we want. And we can actually cast nothing. It's maybe one of the worst draws in the deck.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
That 1 of Den really hurts. We still have a good turn coming up, hopefully. If they hit their 4-drop like this, like there's tons of cards that put us away right now. It's not one of them. Definitely going to discard this Fires, I believe, even though it's a little weak to another Thoughtseize, but I definitely think you keep your cards.
Yet, though.
Well, they've actually tapped out the last few turns. Okay. This one's a little harder. So we're definitely planning to Fires and then Chandra, right?
I think so.
So I think we get rid of Reality Smasher because Cavalier is better with the reflections.
Smasher is better against removal, though.
Marginally. I think Cavalier is also better if they get to Unearth Kroxa. This is a weird bug I keep getting where everything stays gray. Okay. I will swing. They could animate Hive and kill Chandra, but they have to take a turn off to do it, and then we get to untap with our fires, which feels pretty good. Okay, Kalidas does not feel good. Well, I think this is good.
I mean, this is...
Casting as Cavalier for free. This is only one spell so far, right?
Yeah.
So we can cast Fable and then pump everything?
You can cast Fable.
Well, I'm probably going to just pump this up here. Yeah.
You can cast Fable, make a copy of...
Cavalier. And then pump once?
Mm-hmm. If you attack with the token, you can pump twice.
Oh, you're right. I can pump after combat. Yeah, absolutely. Great call. This is an insane turn. Guess we'll wait to see if they block. But oh, they're dead. If they're dead,
he's dead if he doesn't block a Cavalier.
Oh, he gains 3.
Oh, that's true. But he's still taking a lot.
Yeah, he's taking a lot, and the Kalidas is off the board without getting a token, which is huge. Wow. Crazy turn. Again, this is the second time this has happened in this league where it's like kind of dawdly on both sides, both kind of like dirtling, and then all of a sudden we just
the fact that you
explode.
have Den here is also kind of nuts.
Like we just exploded. Like I felt like we were pretty clunky this game, and I know they were also clunky, but like that got out of control. I want Lava Coil. I want Hearse. I don't know if I want all 3 Hearses. I don't like Sweltering Suns, so that's definitely the cut there. I weirdly don't love Thought-Knot Seer in these matchups.
Yeah.
This is kind of something we learned when playing a lot of ELDRAZI in Modern, where it's like they have a huge amount of removal. It's kind of the worst thing you can be doing.
So, would you bring in Anger?
I think because it misses on Kalidas, I wouldn't.
But Kalidas is really the only thing it misses on.
It doesn't really do much against Kroxa. It doesn't do anything against the Planeswalkers. Like, Strangle's good because it hits the 3 drops. It hits the Blood Teeth Harvester and it hits the Bone Crusher, but also can finish off a Chandra that minus or something like that.
I'm just looking at it from the perspective of they're probably going to have Graveyard Trespasser, Bone Crusher,
oh, that's true.
Harvester. If those are the 3 things, and they have Fable. Like, you're hitting 16 to 20 things, depending on how much you count Fable as.
Is that even better than Sweltering Suns then, though? Or do I just keep these 2 in?
The reason that I think you'd keep Anger over Sweltering is that it helps shut off their Kroxa a little bit better.
Oh, just by exiling the cards?
I don't know if that's better than not having cycling.
Well, you could definitely shave one of these. We just talked about it earlier where it's okay to shave a land on the draw for a deck like this. So I definitely think I have room for 1 in. And then you can maybe go down to 1 Thought-Knots here. I don't think you want to go to Chandra as your only 4-drop to play with fires.
Would you be willing to cut a Bone Crusher here?
I don't think so. It's just such a good... For these mid-range...
Harvester.
For these mid-range mirrors, having like 2 spells in 1 is pretty important.
Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking from the perspective of like Anger of the Gods / Sweltering Suns are by and large not going to be 1-for-1s as well, though.
Yeah. All right, let's cut a.
Like you could go 1 Anger, 1 Sweltering Suns.
I think I'd rather try both Angers and see how it feels. Well, I guess you'll know every time you draw 1. All right, we'll do it this way. This is for testing purposes. I know we're like going for the trophy right now, but like for testing purposes, I'm kind of curious because you do bring up a good point. Like there are a decent amount of hits, and we can make this one-sided on the draw, whereas on the play, like you probably want a Bone Crusher as they play the Blood Teeth and then play your 3-drop, but I think it makes sense. Also, the question is, any of this better than the third Unlicensed Hearse?
Unlicensed Hearse just gets so much worse in multiples.
I think the only time I really want 3 in is against like Grease Fang or Phoenix. We're going to mulligan this one lander, obviously. I'll keep this. I think Fable just solves a lot of sins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get rid of the Reality Smasher, and then we'll draw into action. And then we'll keep the Strangle up if they do have Blood Teeth or something. Okay. Bone Crusher feels pretty good here in a hand like this.
Yeah, it's a good draw.
And this is kind of where anger is bad when you're trying to play your own stuff, but... So there is Tenacious Underdog. Well, anger feels great there. I'm going to stomp this now, just to show a little bit of respect to a possible Ob Nixilis. I know it's not super common to be playing Ob Nixilis nowadays in the 60, but maybe they want to bring it in knowing I don't have a lot of creatures early.
I think it makes sense to bring it in.
There is their own Fable, which I think we respond to with ours. Although, Bone Crusher? Nah, yeah, I think we want our Fable. We kind of want to hit our 4th land drop at all cost here.
Yeah, and be able to dig for the fires as well.
Yeah, we might even be able to go Chandra into Lava Coil, also. If they do something like swing and play Kalidas, I think it's totally fine. They discard 2 lands off their own Fable. There's the Kalidas, yeah. So now I really want this land. I might not even block here.
I think that's perfectly fine.
I think even hitting the land, going Strangle with it, feels good. I'm going to get rid of the Cleansing Wildfire. And maybe the Fable? Just try to set up for the perfect turn if we can. Or I can maybe hold Strangle for the flip side of this.
I think getting rid of Fable is probably better.
Oof. Well, we can still swing and hit with Lava Coil. Maybe not even. Maybe we just Strangle now. They don't swing, so we are going to Lava Coil. Kind of got lucky here. But they do have Den here to kind of respond to it. They're advertising pretty clearly they don't have Fatal Push. They do just have the Dreadbore, though.
I think that's totally okay, depending on the follow-up here.
Another Fable, okay. Man, okay. Getting a little out of hand here, missing that land. I think we go Bone Crusher and then Strangle the Reflection. I'm going to swing first. Hopefully this lives the whole turn cycle and we can do something nasty with our Cavalier. But we'll see. There's also maybe an argument to holding up Field of Ruin there, just because they might be pretty incentivized. I think with them getting 2 redraws here, though, that's a little loose.
Yeah, I just don't think... I think you want to be able to spend your mana here.
They do discard 1 land.
They get rid of Blood Crypt. They also have Castle. That's a...
Yeah, Chandra's pretty bad here for us. Okay, they get rid of Bone Crusher instead of the Reflection. That's interesting. I will get rid of this Hearse so fast. And Trespasser, okay. I think it's crazy to attack, personally. I think they should be Protect Chandra at all cost mode. Fires is interesting.
Not really. You only have 4 lands.
Oh, you're right. I can't fires into Cavalier. Oh, I can't really do anything here. I didn't realize how badly I needed that land drop for Cavalier plus the reflection copy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we Cavalier discard both?
I think so, yeah.
And any land lets us flip it again? Any untapped land? Oops.
Yeah.
We don't get it because we're not talented. I think I swing with the token anyway.
I'm wondering if that was too aggressive.
Well, we're going to be able to copy this end step.
Oh, that's true.
Which is bad versus instant speed removal, but...
I'm just thinking that Chandra puts you at 8. Graveyard puts you at 7. Maybe it's not an issue.
There's Blight Step. Oh, I hate that.
Yeah, that's not good.
Hate that big time. Kind of need, I don't even know, need to somehow have fires in play and then play Reality Smasher?
Yeah.
We either have to miss the fact that I can copy this, I guess, and just try to swing everything? No. Alright, we'll copy this now. It's not going to do it, I don't think, but we are going to cycle
getting
this.
to copy that to bin the land, and then you can also Field of Ruin them, makes it where when Cavalier dies, it can ping the Chandra to death.
Well, even just one. I don't need to Field of Ruin because 2 are going to die. Oh, we just win.
That is...
I can't believe that. Oh, wait. Yeah, they have haste. That's 18 damage. I can't believe this is how this league is going to end.
Yeah, so Sweltering Suns.
Oh my lord. Off the redraw, I would be so salty if I'm my opponent.
Please give us some pin material.
I can't believe that.
So, pretty okay Brewsday.
Yeah, how do people always pull this up with their deck list? Mine always locks it.
I don't know, man.
People always take screenshots of it, like, together.
That was quite the top deck, Ewan. That was
It was insane.
Heart of the Cards magic. Just drag it into a paint file.
I guess I'll just do it later, but that's
just I don't, yeah, I have no idea how you're supposed to do
it. So that's Brewsday. That is Tuesday Brewsday. So
next week for the trophy Brewsday.
That was a top deck. Yeah. So let's just do a little recap. That was insane. We literally spent our entire sideboarding time discussing if we even wanted these in, about like the merits, and we ended up with one of those and one Anger of the Gods. Just a couple of gamers. Yeah, so yeah, quick breakdown of the deck. We already talked about it earlier, but this is a variant of an already existing deck of the ELDRAZI, not the ELDRAZI, sorry, this Cleansing Wildfire, Fires of Invention deck. We wanted to try this more aggressive late game ELDRAZI angle. It felt fantastic. I think even in the matchups where we kind of got like dirtly or like we were just barely holding off, the moment that we actually started attacking, trying to end the game, was explosive every set. Like you saw that last set was insane, but even other sets where it's like we're kind of close to versus control deck, we wanted the control deck out of nowhere also, where it's just like it was looking pretty tight, and then the game just ended. So really hits it quickly. I think this is important in a metagame with like mono green around, where if you hit turn 5 and you hit turn 8, like it's too late. It's too late between those. That's when you have to win the game. And this definitely feels like a powerful way to do it. Any changes you think you would for sure make?
So I'd be really curious to see this deck against mono green, because I think that we could run into an issue where we just have difficulty punching through everything.
The only reason I don't super agree with that is just because they have like no pressure on their actual board state. So I guess there's a big difference if you cleansing wildfire or not, because that gives you an extra turn, a faster clock turn. But like, let's say our turn 4 is like Fire's Dimension Chandra, and then like kill an Old Wolf Troll or something. Like our turn 5 should be insane versus them. Like they just don't really interact. And even things like Fable on turn 3, where you actually on turn 5 will probably have both your Treasure Creator and your stupid Mirror. Like I feel like you're probably going to lose to their Nut Draw for sure, because you only interact with really Strangles and Spike Field and Sweltering Sun. So you could definitely lose to turn 3 Cavalier to turn 4 Karn nonsense. But I think that you should theoretically have your Spike when it matters. But you're right. I would be curious to see that, because maybe we just can't break through a Cavalier Thorns in time.
Yeah, I'm just I don't know what the answer is. I mean, I'm a sucker for Embercleave. I'm not going to say that Embercleave is the answer.
You can't cast it off of fires easily. It's my issue with Embercleave. It's kind of interesting though. I was thinking more like Burning Hands.
Burning Hands too. My thing right now is I think finding ways to give trample is I mean, you've been watching me play Red White Heroic, and part of the reason is that you have a lot of ways to give trample. And I feel like that's always my problem with the mono green decks, is that they do have the ability to gum up the ground pretty effectively.
I don't know. I think we should have a pretty decent shot in that matchup. Maybe not like outwardly like insanely favored, but I don't think that it's a matchup we're necessarily trying to avoid. I guess it depends though. Like you're right. You always, like we just talked about meta calls. Like you always can change to be more anti-mono green. I don't think Lava Coil main deck in this kind of deck is a bad idea at all. I think the fact that this hits Phoenix, Thing in the Ice, Shredder, and things like Old Wolf Troll with actually exiling them, and Kalidas, like I don't think it's a bad idea at all for this kind of deck that's not looking to attack on turn 2 anyway. So there's definitely like concessions you can make to certain matchups. I would honestly, yeah, I think maybe you and I should do a test session, just these two decks against each other. But as a core, the deck felt great today.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think for me, just when I'm right now looking at trying to attack Pioneer, the two decks that I'm really thinking about are Mono Green Ramp. Well, I'll say three: Mono Green Ramp, Mono Blue Spirits, and Rakdos Midrange. I think those are the three decks I'm just seeing a ton of, and I think trying to have a good way of attacking those decks is really important.
Yeah, so. There's also a chance that this deck doesn't, in its current form, have enough answers to things like Red White Heroic, where if you don't draw one of these 4 spells, you might just die, or your Bone Crushers. Like, you've seen Heroic win through lots of removal, but it's a lot easier to win through very little removal. Obviously, Red White Heroic is probably not going to beat this game late. It's probably not going to beat this game in kind of a drawn-out game, because you're just going to kill them with Smashers and Cavaliers, but I do think that like there's a chance Red White could just slip under you really easily. And that deck, listen, everyone's picking up that deck because, as you said to me last week before every streamer and their mother was playing it, like that deck is legit. I think you said that was like one of the easiest 5-0s you ever had the first time you picked it up, and you're just like cruising with it ever since. So
yeah, I think Red White Heroic is one of the decks that I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of, and it's. I think part of the reason a deck like Red White Heroic gets to do really well is when there isn't amazing removal, it provides a lot of opportunities for people to outplay themselves. people make misplays against me playing Red White Heroic all the time because they're like, oh, well, what if he has 2 God's Willings?
Yeah. But I mean, also, the creature count in that deck is not small, you know? Like, I've seen you flood the field pretty aggressively, too, so.
Yeah.
Maybe this is one of those matchups that Sweltering Suns makes a huge difference, so maybe you want 4 of them to kill the Dreadhorde Arcanist, so.
And I guess that's sort of the point with this deck, though, is that you do have the ability to tailor all of your flex spots to your metagame. And with cards like Valakut Awakening and Fable the Mirror Breaker, you do have the ability to dig through your deck a little bit more effectively to try to find those silver bullet type cards that can really make the difference between you getting to see your turn 5 and having those crazy turn 5s where, you know, you're swinging with 2 Cavalier of Flames that are 8/5s or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think like this is, compared to other mid-range decks, like you can just throw things like Sweltering Suns in here because they cycle themselves, but you can cycle them away. You can run things like Lava Coil that are bad versus control, but not necessarily bad in your deck when you just get rid of them anyway. But yeah, I think every mid-range build I try to put together is always going to have an inbuilt part of flexibility. I just think it's how I like to build mid-range, especially in a format like this. It's developing, meta game's a little open. Something like Modern right now, you basically know what you're going to run into every tournament. This is a little more open where like you expect a lot of this, you expect a lot of that, but you don't necessarily... You can't be prepared for everything. Like you can't build a deck that's just naturally going to also beat Angels when it pops up every now and then, that kind of thing. I think that this is a great start. I wish better players than us would pick it up. I wish this is the kind of thing people work on. Any last thoughts before I talk about what's coming up the week?
I just want to point out that I think it's funny how pretty much every deck you've been putting together, you're just like, man, I wish better players would play this deck so that it could.
Part of it is point. I have deck building ADHD, where once I 5-0 or do well in a challenge with a deck, that deck's dead to me. Like, so I probably won't play this again the rest of the week. I'll probably be working on other things, because in my mind, it's like, all right, I've already accomplished what I wanted to with this deck. Maybe it's out there, maybe other people will work on it. But people who actually want to hone and try different things and, like, develop something, this is a great base list to start with. Like, people ran with the spike list for a while, and it kind of tapered off as people, like, learned the ins and out and then moved on. But this is, like, a new kind of innovation on it that I think a lot of people... First of all, this deck is fun as hell. I think it's a huge part of decks that we build. You and I have built some decks that we think are cool and are good that we'll never play again because we just didn't enjoy playing them. So I think this deck is super fun to play with. But listen, I'm going to start working on other stuff. But yeah, closing thoughts. I think there's a lot of flexibility here. Deck felt powerful. Sideboard feels a little iffy on my end here. I love this card. I just wonder if there's better cards to run in the anti-control slot than Scab Clan Berserker. It's also good against like Lotus Field and stuff, but I wonder if like Chandra or something's better.
I
like maybe the 6-mana Chandra that's just uncounterable.
I think I think Chandra Awakening Inferno probably just makes a little bit more sense, especially because like, oh, it's gonna hit them and it's gonna deal 3 and then it's gonna get Fiery Impulsed.
Yeah, if this deals 2 and then 2, like you're kind of closer to killing with this, but you're right. Like, I don't know. I feel like you'd be probably better off with like Chandra plus like maybe a few Alpine Moons if you're afraid of Lotus Field or something. But yeah, I mean that's all I have for this deck. I guess I could talk about what's coming up unless you have something else you want to say on this or something else going on.
There's a non-zero chance I'm gonna be jamming this deck. As our description likes to say, we're two guys in our late 20s who like pretend that Eldrazi decks are still good.
Definitely was fun. I'm gonna probably play this later this week. I was maybe gonna bring this today. You and I, this is actually kind of a funny story. You accidentally loaded up a deck list because you have the all-inclusive token. You accidentally loaded up a deck list from, 2016 or something ridiculous? Whenever Dragon God came out?
It was probably 2018 or so, looking at the mana base, it was still playing Temples of Deceit.
Yeah, like Scrylands, kind of weird Bolas control, and then you got back on a card favorite of mine, which is this Nicol Bolas the Ravager. Every time I've cast this card in the past, 3 years, it's felt so impressive to me. Like, it's felt like on curve it's powerful, the late game mana dump is great, and we both agree that Dragon God, the 5-mana Nicol Bolas Planeswalker, is awful. So I kind of wanted to these Grixis Ledger Shredder decks were actually finally be figured out before the Expressive Iteration ban, which obviously hurt them a lot. This is like the hardest multicolored dragon here. But they started finally getting figured out, and then Expressive Iteration was banned. I know that I played against two challenges in a row. I played against this Corpse Appraiser Grixis deck, and it looked really good. It looked really clean, powerful, had game against anything. But then Expressive Iteration got banned, and everyone stopped working on it. So I think that this is what I'll be working on sometime this week. Maybe Thursday night I'll stream this version of it. A lot of flexibility. Mana base is not a problem when you're playing this kind of slow kind of deck. You have card selection and just value cards like Fable, Corpse Appraiser, Shredder, Consider. So you're not really too afraid of just like being stuck on lands. We did 5-0. Oh, he's muted. Of course he does. Yeah, and then Bolas felt great in the end. So I think that this is like a real legs here. I don't know what this Treasure Cruise, what I want to do here. These kind of have some anti-synergy here. But I think I want 3.
The Treasure Cruise plus one of Graveyard Trespasser is kind of awkward.
So I think that this is kind of intentional. So I think for testing, I do like one of sometimes. I think when you have a deck that's geared towards like one plan, kind of like the Fires, the one-ofs are sketch because you're trying to do one thing very well. But we're going to churn through our deck. So there's a non-zero chance in like any given matchup where Graveyard Trespasser is important that we can dig for it. Like Corpse Appraiser digs, Cruise will dig, Shredder will dig, Consider will dig. So it's like and Fable digs. So like this is maybe not a strong enough card to be wanting to dig for as your one-of, but I don't think one-ofs are necessarily bad in a list like this.
I agree with you. I just seeing Graveyard Trespasser as your like this is my silver bullet one-of is hilarious to me.
You're right. It could probably be like Go Blank or something.
Go Blank or something like Parter the Veil. It's a real card where it's like, yeah, if I play this, your game plan is screwed.
I will say for this list, some of the older versions were on things like Kalidas and Chandra, and others were on just Giganta. I'm going to try Giganta first. I'm too tempted if I take away Giganta to play that stupid Dragon God as a one-of again. Because I think the card's so cool. It's just not good, especially like comparing it to Teferi. It's just not good enough, but I think this is where I'll start. I tested a little bit of this before fixing it up a bit, but maybe I won't get around to it, and it'll be next Tuesday, Brewsday, but it'll probably end up being a stream on Thursday or maybe Friday. So,
yeah, I think it's a very cool deck, and I really think Grixis is good.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the first times like I've really liked the mana base too. Like, it doesn't feel bad to play your tap land first. I thought Kroxa would be an issue, but you really only have 2 lands that don't cast it with Island and Otawara, the way it's set up here. And I always don't understand Fable math with this deck. I only have 1 of each basic and Fables, which help feed the graveyard, but this might just be wrong. I might need 2 swamps or something. We'll figure that out too. But yeah, that's it.
I also think that with this style of deck, you don't need to like play Kroxa on 4. Like you can play Kroxa on your 5th land or your 6th land.
Yeah, very true. Or off of Treasure Token, who knows?
Yeah.
I also did not know until I played this deck that Corpse Appraiser puts the other cards in the graveyard, which is huge. I always thought it was anticipate and not strategic planning.
No, Corpse Appraiser is insane.
So like this actually also feeds your graveyard. I think you want 3 of the Delve effects, so maybe it's going to be 2 Cruise, 1 Kroxa, maybe it's going to be 3 Kroxa. I don't know how this is going to end up, but I think 3 is the right number.
I think with your point about Ledger Shredder letting you churn through your deck, it very well could be just 1 Kroxa.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. But am I ever going to... If I go 2 Cruises, am I ever going to actually unearth this? I think you might. I don't know. Yeah, probably.
There's a lot to play with. There's a lot of things we can do there.
But yeah, that's it. So yeah, this one more time. Show the Fires deck real quick. I think we're going to call it here, unless you have something you want to play right now, but I think it's a nice little 2-hour 5-0 trophy we got. The new brew. Felt great. It felt really good to play, I gotta say.
Yeah, I don't want to let people down by showing the 37th humans variant of the week. So, and Puppet's not quite there yet. So
we'll work on it next week. All right. Thanks everyone. This has been So Imba Magic, I guess. Gallade and Airwave. You'll see us on streaming a little bit this week. I'm going to be streaming the challenge for sure. I don't think I'm going to be streaming the super play-in event, but I think I am going to be streaming the Sunday Pioneer Challenge. Maybe on this deck, maybe on Shredder, we'll see. So,
All right, friends. Thanks for tuning in. Good seeing y'all.
see you guys.